All right, we're back, and your website is looking pretty good by now, right? You've got photos that convey your brand vibe really well. You've got text that communicates the value of your services, and your website in general is just looking pretty solid. But there's one big thing missing, right? It doesn't actually do anything yet. You can't actually book people into classes or sell things on your website yet. Hi, I'm Connie with Pixality Design, and this is video number 4 of our 4-part video series on creating a studio website on a budget. So if you missed the first 3 videos in this series, I go back and check those out, because in this video, we're going to talk about the 2 things you need to do to finish off your website and get it ready for launch. The first of those is you need to integrate it with your studio scheduling software. So this is where the magic happens. This is where people can now go to your website and they can give you money. They can buy things from you. They can book classes. They can actually interact and engage with your business in a way that your business needs them to make money and to run a successful business. So the actual technical aspects of how this works is going to depend a lot on the studio scheduling software that you're using. But the big picture of it is you're going to go to your studio scheduling software and you're going to look for some type of website widget that they offer. Most studio schedulers offer this capability where you're going to go in and you're going to find a little bit of code and you're just going to copy it. You don't have to do anything with it except for copy it. You're going to head into your Squarespace website, add a code block, and paste that code onto your web page. That's going to bring the functionality of that scheduling widget onto your website so that they don't have to leave your website to do any kind of booking or buying. Now, widget is just kind of a nickname term for this type of functionality in general. Yours might be called something different. Your studio scheduler might actually just make you put links to take them off your site to a checkout page. Whatever it is, if you're just doing the links, you can use a button block in Squarespace. But for most, you're going to be looking for that widget code that you're going to paste into your website in a code block. So remember way back in the beginning in video 1 where I talked about planning your site navigation or planning the pages on your website to be ready for these widgets. This is where this comes into play. You should have a page in your main navigation that's called schedule. You should have a page that's called pricing or something equivalent. And this is where you're going to put those key features onto your website, onto those pages so that they can do the action on those pages. Finishing step number 2 is for search engine optimization. And so this is where you're going to add some key information on your website so that you make it easy for search engines like Google to find you, know who you are, what you offer, and where you offer it, so they can show you to people who are searching for your services on Google. So the first thing you're going to do is just jot down on a piece of paper the search terms that your ideal clients would be typing into Google. So that's probably has something to do with your location, whether it's your city or part of town. It also has to do with the core services that you offer, whether that's Pilates or Reformer Pilates. There might be several different variations of those keywords that someone might be searching. Once you've got those words written down, you can head into your website and you can add them in strategic places so that Google knows that those are important to your business. Those strategic places can be found by going to specific pages on your site, the little settings icon next to the page under SEO. There you can see a field for page title and page description. For page title, you want to choose a location keyword and a service keyword for each page. Put them in the page title. And then for your description, that's going to be 1 to 2 sentences. It's just plain language, very inviting, telling people what they're going to find on that page. If you can weave some of those keywords in there, that's even better. But you want to make sure that that description area is just really readable and really inviting. It's not stuffed with just a bunch of random words. Once you've got a page title and a description for the page you're working on, then move into the main part of the page you've already designed, and see if you can work 1 or 2 of those keywords into one of the headlines of the page. This is really important on your home page particularly. Up near the top, you can't assume that people know where you are. I can't tell you how many studio websites I've gone to where it's really hard to tell even where this studio exists in the world. And if I want to come in person, I need to know that information right away so I don't feel like I'm wasting my time looking at the services and looking at what this business does without knowing where they exist. So I recommend on your homepage, maybe making it the second headline, like the subheading on the page, put one of your location keywords and put your core services there. So you're not leaving people to guess that. Once you've got your page titles, your page description, and your headline in for the page, the last thing we want to do, and this is site-wide, is we want to make sure that people know what your name, address, and phone number is. And you would think that that's pretty obvious, but it's not necessarily. These can be really hard to find on a lot of small business websites. Google especially really needs that information to be able to draw the line, connect the dots between your website and your Google My Business profile. So that's the profile when someone's searching in Google that pops up with the map. It keeps them on the platform, the Google platform. It's just a little kind of mini site, mini profile on there. But if your name, address, and your phone number from that profile match what's on every page of your website identically, Google's going to have a lot easier time connecting those dots, knowing that your website is that same business that's in that profile. So like I mentioned, we want to put that name, address, and phone number, those 3 key pieces of information in that order. We want to make sure that they're identical and on every page of the website. So the easiest place to put that is in the footer. So head to your Google My Business profile, write down exactly how it's written there. If you're using a suite number there, use that on your website as well. And then put it in your footer and you'll check that box. Google will now be able to very easily identify who you are, where you are, what you do, and match that with your Google My Business profile. So now that you've got your finishing items done, you're integrated with your studio scheduling software, and you've put those key critical pieces of information in place so that Google knows where to find you and who to show you to, your website is ready to launch to the world. So congratulations on that. If you're stuck a little bit, still thinking that your website is looking good, but you're stuck on that last piece of really finishing it off and getting it connected with your studio scheduler and with Google, I've got a service that's a great fit for that. It's called a Website Boost, and you can learn more about that at pixalitydesign.com/boost. And I'd love to jump in and just help you bring your website up to the point where you really feel like you're confident, can confidently launch it. If you haven't yet grabbed my bundle of free resources, you can do that at pixalitydesign.com/free. That'll walk you through everything that we've talked about in this 4-part video series. It'll walk you through getting great photos for your website, defining your brand voice and your basic brand message, and it'll walk you through some of the technical aspects of connecting your domain and getting your website all ready to go. So I've hoped you've enjoyed this series, and I'll see you next week.